good morning, or good afternoon, depending upon what time you are listening. Thank you so much for listening to the audio blogcast podcast presented to you by freeyourthinkingmind.com. Please definitely check us out at our website at freeyourthinkingmind.com and subscribe and share, and also subscribe and share to our blogcast podcast at freeyourthinkingmind.podbean.com, and check us out on our YouTube page at FYTM Network. Happy Thursday, happy Thursday, happy Thursday. This time space sequence we call June 6th, 2019. Today I'll be reading the blog post that was written for today on June 6, 2019, entitled Loop Thinking, Autopilot, Who Programs You? Loop Thinking, Autopilot, Who Programs You? Our affirmation for today is I am the programmer of my life. I am the programmer of my life. Sometimes you read something that brings clarity to what the big deal is for the day. And Jay Salmon in Disrupt You sums up in one paragraph why today you should recognize when you trans into autopilot and your subconscious programs take control. Now, I call it loop thinking, but the meaning basically is the same. It's when you keep doing the same things the same way, expecting something different to happen, as if you are powerless in your own life. If you keep doing the same things the same way, more than likely you will get the same results. Our subconscious mind can process 40 million bits of data from the environment every second. So this is very fast and powerful, but the subconscious mind is very habitual. The subconscious mind can only play back that which it has learned. Now, our conscious brain, on the other hand, comes from our prefrontal cortex, and this part of the brain is creative, but it can only process about 40 bits of data from the environment per second. The conscious mind is very slow in comparison to the subconscious mind. Therefore, this difference in processing is why in emergency situations where you feel uncomfortable or out of place, or where you feel you are scared, you operate from subconscious programs, which basically means you go on autopilot. According to neuroscientists who study cognitive behavior, we are only conscious about 5% of our cognitive activities. Therefore, most of our actions, thoughts, and behaviors are coming from subconscious programs. Now, subconscious programs are either those behaviors, habits, beliefs, or thoughts that were acquired prior to 10 years of age, and are those behaviors, habits, beliefs, and thoughts that we keep on repeat that may not be beneficial now and may not have even been the truth, but we were trained never to question, never to challenge, or never to disrupt them. Nevertheless, we consciously expect something different. We do the same things, but we expect something different. To me, I now call that, quote, you not thinking in the now, or I'm not thinking in the now. But what I'm doing is living my life based on other people's thinking, not acknowledging the fact that they don't know me now. Now, I do the same things, so I'm not pointing the fingers, or I'm not passing judgment. But what I do now is I try to recognize when I am transing into autopilot, and I try to disrupt it immediately, because I realize it's in those moments that I'm transing into autopilot that I'm not working from my thinking now. I'm working from subconscious programs given to me by other people who did not know me. The only difference between a boy who grows up to be a king versus a boy who grows up to be an adult peasant is the story their parents and society told them in their youths, and they believed into adulthood without disruption. Now, let me repeat that because I think that that's huge for your thinking mind. The only difference between a boy who grows up to be a king versus a boy who grows up to be an adult peasant is the story their parents and society told them in their youths, and they believed into adulthood without disruption. So I have to ask you, what programs of beingness about yourself are you believing? Who gave you these programs? And who gave them those programs? Are these stories limiting your possibility of existence in this time-space sequence that we call now? If we keep subconsciously living life on autopilot programs that are not in alignment with what we really desire consciously, then consciously we will always be disappointed. We will always be stressed. We will always feel like life is just messing with us, and we'll feel like life is against us, or that life never really consistently ever works in our favor. I'm going to repeat that. If we keep subconsciously living life on autopilot programs that are not in alignment with what we really desire consciously, then consciously we will always be disappointed, stressed, or feel like life is against us or never works consistently in our favor. We will always find ourselves playing the victim, and the victor is never a contemporary challenger, but is our own generationally or socially inherited subconscious programs that we fail to go in silence and observe, recognize, challenge, disrupt, and change, and transform ourselves into who we design ourselves to be. And even in those moments where we know in our own thinking that something doesn't make sense, we reject our own thinking mind and remain in the programs and believe. Why are we so comfortable eliminating our thinking minds from the equation of our own lives? If you are beginning to see, and I hope that you are, maybe it's time to change some of your subconscious programs. Now, this is just something for you to think about on this Thursday. I'm getting ready to quote a passage from Disrupt You by Jay Samit. Begin of quote. So much of self-disruption is making deliberate choices in your life instead of running on autopilot. We've all walked into a large conference or meeting without knowing a soul in the room. The fight or flight response from our autonomic nervous system pumps you full of adrenaline, causes your heart and respiratory rate to increase. Consciously, you take yourself off autopilot. It is not 10,000 years ago. No Neanderthal is going to kill you. Realizing that everyone feels the same way you do, why not turn this into an opportunity to greet others and make them feel welcome and safe? By following this approach to all your challenges, you will quickly see that success comes not from circumstances beyond your control, but from the way you respond to those circumstances. End of quote. Our affirmation for this beautiful Thursday: I am the programmer of my life. I am the programmer of my life. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. This is Free Your Thinking Mind. Just wanting to give you something to think about. I hope that you have an efficient and effective and productive Thursday. Please definitely go over to our website at freeyourthinkingmind.com and subscribe and share. Help us reach as many people, and let's turn us all into free thinkers and design this world in accordance to better thoughts about everyone and about ourselves. Also, definitely subscribe and share our podcast at freeyourthinkingmind.podbean.com and go over to our new YouTube channel at FYTM Network and help us build a following over there off of on YouTube. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful, productive Thursday. Just giving you something to think about. Ashe, my free thinkers. Ashe.